Hi there, everybody. Hello. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a good middle of the week. I almost called it a hump day. Out of habit. So anyway.
I always thought I know what it means, but
Mm-hmm.
it
Yep.
sounds like it means something
It
else.
sounds like it means something else.
Yeah,
It's
every time
just
people would say that, I hear like my in-laws say it and stuff. I'm like, really?
yep. Yep.
Just
Yep.
always sounds weird.
It
Anywho,
sounds weird every time. Every time. Anyway, hi chat. How we doing? We already have a level 4 hype train or 5 hype train it looks like over on Twitch, and I see we have some questions pouring in over here from YouTube. So, excuse me. Why don't we start getting to the rules and we can start answering some of these questions here. First and foremost, we give priority to the bit messages and super chats since that is some real world money spent. Please do not repeat yourself over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do that. And we don't want that for you, okay? We don't want that.
I want a little bit for you, but it's probably best you don't. I kid.
On the YouTube side of things, we prioritize super chats that are $5 and over. We get a large volume of questions, so this is just a way for us to be able to prioritize and sort through that so that we do have time for the non-paid questions. We generally do that towards the end of stream. Then we take a look at highlighted messages on chat or Twitch or regular chat questions on YouTube. If you do highlight a question, I would save it for later during the stream because if you do it now, I can't scroll back and take a look at it. Cool. Watch the length of your questions. The longer it is, the faster I have to read it, the more likely it is that we are going to lose the point and we don't have time to go back and figure out what you were trying to say. So short and to the point is better. Along those same lines, if you absolutely must break up your question or comment into multiple parts, please keep it to 3 absolute maximum. Again, we just tend to lose the points, and we don't have time to go back and figure out what you were trying to say in part 7 and how it relates to part 3 and all that crazy stuff. Also, in that same vein, please keep it to 1 question per bit message or super chat. We have over 100 people in chats, combined chats between Twitch and YouTube here, and it just doesn't feel fair if you get to ask 5 and some people haven't even had a chance to ask 1. So please keep it to 1 question per bit message or super chat. No spoilers, please. Not everyone has had a chance to see the latest and the greatest. I can't think of anything that there really is out there to spoil right now.
Karate Kid. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I don't know what there really is to spoil, but just don't spoil things, okay? Just don't do it. Doug, no swearing.
That's right.
I feel like I am
Think
missing
we good?
something, but I think I got it all.
Think we good?
Okay, great, fantastic. Let's get to this then. All right.
Okay.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Since you mentioned it in your recent Doug Rants video, what did you think of the film Goodrich? For me, I loved the performance of Michael Keaton and Mila Kunis, but thought the ending was pretty rushed.
I haven't seen the whole thing yet. I've seen bits and pieces of it. That's why. So I was looking for kid stars, or just little actresses, that could play that part. They're like young now. I'm going through and I'm just looking. I see her and I was just like, oh, well, wait. Like I remember seeing clips of her in that movie. I'm like, let me look up a few clips, and she seemed totally fine. Maybe part of it is just being given dialogue that's more like a kid, and a setup that's going to focus more on like how people naturally react and talk and stuff like that. Star Wars isn't always that. But the bits I saw were good. I should watch the whole movie because it did look pretty interesting.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. How are Walter and Malcolm not married?
Well, just because you introduce them doesn't mean they're going to fall in love. So you got to work with what you work with.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug and Heather. I was curious, what are your thoughts overall on the movie Bros? I figured I'd ask a pride related question since it's Pride Month, and I just came out as demisexual to my friends and family who have been very accepting. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad everyone's been
Awesome.
super accepting.
That's very cool. With that said, I really didn't like the movie.
Oh,
I should say
really?
that.
I
I
haven't seen
did
it.
not. I did not like the main character. All the other characters were fine, and the writing's fine. And everything. I thought the main guy was so obnoxious and so mean. And I think there's a way you can do that character well. I think you look at something like Schitt's Creek. Oh, what's his name? Levy, Stan Levy, or I always get mixed up, but Levy's son in that is very funny, and he's very self-centered and egotistical and everything, but he's so funny. So that shows there is a way you can do that, and even have that be a main character. But I just thought they did not. I don't know if they didn't have the performance figured out or the writing around the character figured out, but I didn't care for it. Everything else around it was fine. The side characters were fine, but I did not care for that lead.
Dragon's Toy, thank you so much for that 62-month subscription over on Twitch.
Thank
Welcome back.
you.
Appreciate that. Woohoo! 62 months. Are either of you fans of the one-off, for lack of a better term, Looney Tune characters? My favorite Looney Tunes character is Gossamer, but Pete, Puma, Mac, and Tosh, and the little penguin that cries ice cubes are all up there.
I mean, they've had other, unless you're not taking it literally, which maybe Gossamer, I think, has had a few appearances. But I mean, my favorite, and she's a perfect one-off character because if you had any more of her, you wouldn't be able to stand her. Is that Little Red Riding Hood? I got a T-shirt. I'm not wearing it now, but Grandma, I got a present here for you to have. I mean, I just love there's a kid that's purposefully supposed to be a bad actress and the big glasses and everything. Oh, she cracked me. Every line in that is just hysterical. But I know if you had even one more minute more with that character, that would be too much. So that's probably my favorite.
Kevin, thank you for the $10 super chat. According to Miss Mojo, these movies need live action remakes: Princess and the Frog, Sword in the Stone, Meet the Robinsons, Treasure Planet, and Atlantis, The Lost Empire.
I could see that. Well, so Princess and the Frog, I think you'd really have to redo that. Like I said, I don't like that they both turn into frogs. I think just one should be a frog. If they reworked it like that, I would agree. Because aside from, if you're not doing that, you're just gonna have an animated film again, basically, for out most of it. What I like is that a lot of them can be retooled. They can be made better if they do them again. It's not like these are perfect, don't touch them. It's like, no, they really can be improved on. So I actually do agree. Even though a lot of those I like Princess and the Frog, I like Treasure Planet. There are things they could fix up. So yeah, actually, that's not a bad selection.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. I recently watched Sam Raimi's The Gift and immensely enjoyed it. I was surprised it got such mixed reviews. Might be the only film in which Keanu Reeves is genuinely terrifying.
I agree. That was the film where I started to change a little bit on Keanu Reeves. I'm like, boy, he was really good there. And then I think, was it The Lake House came out? I'm like, okay, it was really good there too. And then just things started to shift for him. I felt like he started to get really, really good. Yeah, I think part of it is when you get to the end, it almost seems like a last minute twist because this was what, right after Sixth Sense, every movie was trying to have a twist at the end after that. And it had a little bit of that fight, but it is a good movie. I think it was actually pretty well done. I agree. Reeves surprisingly kind of steals the show.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. This is not my joke, by the way, chat. No, don't get this out of context, all right? I'm only reading this because
You're just a messenger.
Yeah. What do coffee and pants have in common? Just add a little cream. Am I right, boys?
Now, did they actually have "Am I Right, Boys" in there?
Yes, they did.
All right, that's pretty great.
Yes, they did.
It's kind of worth it just for that.
Yeah. Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you watched the film The Opposite of Sex? It's a dark comedy that stars Christina Ricci in one of her best roles.
No, I remember being advertised. I heard mixed things about it, so I never checked it out. But on that recommendation, maybe I will.
Kevin, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you expect a tycoon to use prop money to light a cigar? Because that seems to be a very famous trope.
Yeah, I mean that's from like old cartel. Like you have so much money to spend, and you can use it for anything. Like you use it literally to light your expensive cigars. Speaking of Looney Tunes, there's an old cartoon where Granny comes into a bunch of money and she literally has a little basket of just burning money. Oh, it's chilly, and she just throws this money on the fire. So yeah, that's kind of an old trope.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the movies Absence of Malice with Paul Newman and Sally Field?
No, never even heard of it. Try to check it out.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. You have said despite being well written and well acted, you really don't like Walt from Breaking Bad. So I was wondering, which moment in the show made you hate him the most?
I mean, it's kind of a spoiler.
I mean, it's Breaking Bad. I feel like you can go ahead and spoil that.
Yeah, this is gonna be. Well, first of all, and again, I know it's the idea, but anytime he said, "I'm doing it for you, I'm doing it for my family," I'm like, that always got me. And again, if you've seen the whole show, you know where it's going. It's well done. Oh, but I hated that. And the scene where he's watching somebody sleep, I won't go any further than that. But if you see the show, you know what I'm talking about. That's just like, you son of a. Like, that was a biggie.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the film The Devil's Advocate?
I never saw all of it. That's another one that everyone was kind of like, like you see it just to see Pacino act crazy and Reeves act like Reeves. Like it's pretty much a recreation of him from Dracula, just going, huh? At this obvious evil. But I take it back. I saw the ending, and the ending was so ridiculous. I'm just like, this is probably dumb, so I never checked it out. But maybe I should give it a chance. It's not always about the ending.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug. Have you ever seen any episodes of Shaolin Showdown? If not, I would recommend it if you have the time. I think you would love the comedic dynamic of its villain, Jack, and Wuya. In a way, they're pretty similar to Yzma and Kronk.
Is that the anime? Is that the one?
I don't know. No. Anime. I don't think it is.
Wait. Spell it or
Shaolin
say it again?
is Xiaolin.
Boy, I was way off on that. I'm so glad. Oh, I know what this is.
People said that we missed it in a.
Yeah, but none of us. That's right. Because I'm like, why does that sound familiar? I've seen like bits and pieces of it, and it looked cute and everything, but I never seen the whole thing. And yeah, it was one of those when it was a kids WB. I think we were doing, and I was just like, has anybody seen this show? It's like, no, sorry, no, sorry. So it's like we had to pass over it. But I knew if I recognized it, it must have been a show of account. But it was one where it's just like none of us saw it, so we couldn't talk about it. But maybe I should, because a lot of people are saying I missed it, so maybe I should not miss it.
Taylor with Ty, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, what do you think of the main villain vampire from Sinners?
I like any villain or any movie where you're listening to their plan and you're kind of going, yeah, it kind of makes sense. What you really, I mean, especially for the people they're talking to. I mean, you're just hearing all this, and they've seen this kind of cruelty, for several years, and they're like, no, we know how this got. We've seen this happen over and over and over. Wouldn't you like to work past this? Wouldn't you like, wouldn't you like to show them up? I mean, wouldn't you like it where they can't hurt you? And everything he's saying, it's like, I feel like if I was in that barn, if I was in that place, I'd be like, let's hear him out. Maybe we should have a one-on-one on it. Maybe we should talk about this, because he's got some good points.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Good evening, all. Curious, will you end up doing an NC on a Cinderella story with Hilary Duff?
I've got requests for it before. Maybe I will. I've never seen it, but I might.
Kevin, thank you for the $10 super chat. Unless Blackbeard was running a government, it would have made more sense if he had invested heavily in bio-crude oil and intended to use the nanobots to drain everyone's oil fields.
Yeah, there's about 1 million other things you could have done with that plan, but I'll give it. I didn't talk about much in the review, but the idea of having it in ice cubes, it's like, that's original at least.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Deadpool and Wolverine car fight scene?
Oh, it's hilarious. I feel like we answered that last week, but maybe not. I especially love when he kept smashing his head into the radio and a different Hugh Jackman song was on every
So
station. That
funny.
cracked me up big time.
Dave, thank you for the $5 super chat. Enjoying Juniversal. Can we expect Hammer Uary or something like that?
I guess if Walter watches Hammer horror films, which I don't know if he does. If not, I think James did them all. You can get your fill there.
Brady, thank you for the $5 super chat. Pepsi or Coke, Doug? We, the audience, deserve to know.
Coke, big time. I will say, when I
Coke.
was younger, I liked Pepsi more, but as I get, like, I think around my teen years, I'm just like, oh my god, Coke's so much better. But Diet Pepsi is better than Diet Coke. I don't even know anyone that has Diet anymore because there's the zero ones around.
Trip, thank you for the $10 super chat. So I'm on season 3 of Steven Universe, and while I like it a lot, I'm not quite getting the same feeling as I did from Owl House or Amphibia. When does the big, incredible moving story start?
It's spaced out a lot. Well, and that is part of it. So that show has, well, first of all, they're very short episodes, and then on top of it, it's a lot of seasons. So it's funny you mentioned about Amphibia and especially Owl House because I think they wanted to do that. They wanted to have a lot more, but it had to be condensed down. Um, there should be at that point. I think there should be one or two kind of surprises that happen. It definitely kind of surprised me a little bit, but no, as it keeps going and you keep questioning why the main characters are doing what they're doing, and should they be, it gets more and more interesting. So yeah, keep with. I mean, unless it's a show that doesn't grab you. I mean, I get the feeling if you're on season 3, something's keeping you invested in watching it. But yeah, I think as it keeps going, it gets more and more interesting.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, did you see the new trailer for the live action One Piece Season 2 introducing its newest member, Chopper? At first I was a little concerned as I thought he looked like a worn out teddy bear, but it's grown on me a bit.
I've only seen the thumbnail. I know what you're talking about because I've seen like stills of it. Yeah, I didn't watch it yet because I'm kind of like, I'll just wait till I see the show. Because I don't know anything about One Piece except I really like that first season, the live action one. So yeah, I'm excited to see more. I kind of want it to be a surprise.
Dev the Wiser, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the film Zardoz, 1974?
Zardos. I don't know. That's one of the few movies where it's hard for me to say if I like it or not. I mean, everyone should see it. It's just a bizarre experience. It has one of my favorite openings of all time where you're just watching like, what the hell is this? But I don't know if I like it. It's definitely trippy. It's definitely of its time. It's definitely very John Borman. But I can't say if it's good or not. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had a better answer than that, but I don't know. How can anyone have the answer for Zardos?
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Shout out to DJ Hype 107 making the most petrifying and thought-provoking comment about Thunderbolt's villain. The Void is the most terrifying MCU villain because he is the only one that actually exists.
Well, I guess if people just call it something else, I know what he's talking about. I would. I mean, can it flatten people into black, dust and stuff like that? I'm kind of like, I question that a little bit, but I know the idea of what he's talking about.
Yeah. Haunted Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the publicity shot of the new Harry Potter actors? The actors that's playing Harry looks like he'd make a great Isaac from Children of the Corn.
He's too young. Don't you know how old that actor is? No. Yeah, I've seen it like just about everything I've heard about the production. I'm like, okay, I'm not a Harry Potter guy, so I'm not that. If the only thing I got really interested in was John Lithgow as Dumbledore. That's interesting because that'll be a very different take from either of the versions we saw before. And I bet he'll add his own unique spin to it. But everything else, I'm like, fine. Like, I just have no strong opinions on it.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Is this year's Disney December lineup already full, and can we get a clue for the newest edition?
I'll just say what it is because I said on the last stream. It's Muppets. I'm throwing in Muppet movies, like even before Disney took them over. And it's not full yet, but it's getting pretty close. Because yeah, there's a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about, a lot of stuff that's come out and everything. So yeah, I mean, if you still have recommendations, feel free. But yeah, just know that it's already filling up pretty quick.
Headshot, thank you for the $5 super chat. An upcoming game Doug may like, Mouse, PI for Hire, the game that takes Steamboat Willie's animation into a gritty noir first-person shooter.
Oh, I feel like, hold on,
You've
mouse.
probably seen some.
Yeah, I
yeah.
feel like
I've definitely
okay.
seen trailers and promos for it.
Oh, maybe. Actually, maybe I have. I swear I've seen a different game that has almost the exact same layout, but it's not this specifically. Boy, it looks cool. Okay, I'll try to check this out.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, what are some TV shows that you love that everyone else can't stand? For me, it's The Office and The Bear. I just can't get into them.
Oh, that I love and everybody can't stand, or I can't stand everybody else
love. No, wait. I think they did vice versa because they wrote that you love that everyone else can't stand.
Yeah, but then they mentioned something that they can't stand.
The Office and The Bear that they just can't get into.
Yeah, so. I get. Well, that one's easier for me. There's a lot of shows I'm just like, well, what is the appeal? The Office is a very good show. I can't stand it. For me, I'm a Parks and Rec guy. I got into that a lot more. Everybody Loves Raymond. Again, very good show. I just cannot stand watching those people. But I understand how real they are. So maybe that's one of the reasons it annoys me. I know there's others, but those are two. Like other like legit bad shows. But for some reason, those are only two that are popping in my mind right now.
Rich, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, what was the bigger disappointment, Dark Knight Rises or Rise of Skywalker?
Rise of Skywalker. Well, okay, so yeah, I guess I'll still say Rise of Skywalker because I was gonna say not the worst film, but the bigger disappointment. I was kind of going, oh, well, because at least with Rise of Skywalker, I was kind of going in having an idea. Dark Knight Rises, I was legit like, oh my god, like I wasn't even excited for Bane, but now I see him. Holy smoke, it's gonna be amazing. And just as it kept going more and more and more, I'm like, Where Rise of Skywalker was pretty instant. It wasn't gonna be good. Literally the first words that Dead speak. You just knew it was gonna be bad. So I guess take that for what it's worth.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. How has no one realized Tomorrow Never Dies basically predicted social media influence news for the last 10 years? Hell, the social media's logo is a C.
There's a lot of commentary in that. I wouldn't jump to that conclusion because I thought the whole thing was they would write the story and then create the news so they'd be the first to post. Well, a little bit, I guess, just getting to the story first, getting the information out there first and getting the clicks. I guess I can kind of see that the more I think about it. I think it was, I don't know if it was a direct commentary on that necessarily, but yeah, okay, I can see the connection a little bit.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. Why did you stop doing the sore loser clips at the end of each old versus new rounds? Those were a lot of fun.
I don't remember. It's been so long since I've done one. I'm trying to remember what the sore loser thing was. I'm totally blanking. I'm so sorry. It's literally been years since I've done an old versus new episode, so it's been a hot minute. I'm totally blanking. I'm sorry.
Lightning Fire, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, just finished the Cody Banks review. I never realized how sexually frustrated the whole movie is. The second one is even weirder. Would you review that sometime?
Maybe. We'll see how this one does. If it looks like this one does well, then yeah. If not, then no.
Deshaun, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you seen the new intro to the new revival season of King of the Hill? Thoughts?
Yeah, I thought, look, I just love they just throughout like most of the intro, just some other guy moves in and he's just there and everyone just keeps looking. He has no expression or reaction. They just don't know what to make of him, and then he just moves away. But all the other stuff happening around him is great, and it's, I'm sure, as everybody's pointed out, just pausing those moments and seeing like how well the expressions are drawn and what's been going on over the years, like Dale running for mayor and stuff like that. I mean, all of that is so great. So yeah, no, I'm cautiously optimistic.
USS Salem, thank you for the $5 super chat. Fun fact, the weird silver car in Cody Banks is actually a very obscure Canadian EV known as the EAC Silvervolt in its only on-screen role. LMAO.
Neat, I guess. I mean, it surely didn't do it any favors. He's like, wow, what a cool car. I'm going to take it to go to a plane. And that's it.
The Ultimate Frozen Fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, did you hear the sad news of John Redcorn's VA's death? We lost another one. He might be recast / retired in the Hulu King of the Hill now too. R.I.P. Jonathan Joss.
Yeah, that was incredibly heartbreaking to
Yeah.
hear. Holy smoke. Can't even, like, you just read that and you go, what the hell?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I got nothing that new to add. You know, obviously you feel, you know, all his friends and family and stuff, you know, heart goes out and everything. Just yeah, no, it's
frozen today.
there's no other word I can think of but heartbreaking.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In The Emperor's New Groove, what do you think of the scene where Kronk turns on Yzma? I love, excuse me, I love when it doesn't work and he said, strange, that usually works.
Yeah, something I forget if they pointed out in the comments or what, but somebody said that it was a parody of like other Disney climaxes, like
Mm,
you know, like the characters, oh, the villain always falls, but this time there's a trampoline at the bottom. And but the trampoline thing, not the trampoline, the chandelier thing, I didn't remember. Like that's a common trope, but I didn't remember it in many Disney films. Just as a trope, it's very funny. And I love she's just so skinny and tiny, it goes right through her. No, I thought that was very, very funny.
Seattle, thank you for gifting that sub to Alexander over on Twitch. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
A lover of cinema, thank you for the 500 bits. Doug, which movie has worse editing? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 or the live action Lilo and Stitch? I ask because you've criticized both movies for their editing.
Lilo and Stitch. I had issues with the editing in Guardians, but Lilo and Stitch was the in Guardians. There were other things that were working that shined through and got, you know, parts that, you know, I really liked. But there are other things that weren't working too. Where Lilo and Stitch, I feel like, man, there's some differences, but this probably could have been fine if they just edited it differently. And just from the beginning, I couldn't believe. I'm like, how is this going faster than the cartoon? You know, like that opening where it's almost line for line the same thing, but it's just going faster. And I'm just like, why is this happening? Like, I feel like in live action, you should, you know, you actually have the stuff there was supposed to be there, you know, or look like it's there, you know, really take in these environments and the atmosphere and everything, but they're no super fast, super quick. And it just felt so processed and commercialized. So yeah, it stood out more there, but I also just saw that one, so maybe it's fresher in my head.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, do you remember the first Disney film that you ever watched? Goodness, I don't even know if I can remember that because, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm of a certain age where Disney was a part of my childhood from the get-go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
feel like most of
always
us are.
remember watching things like Fox and the Hound and Snow White and Fantasia. Like, I'd be hard pressed to think of a time when I didn't know of a Disney property or Disney movie, you know?
Even before I was watching the movies, we had like the Disney Channel where they would constantly show clips from movies.
Mm,
So even then it was like introduced.
mhm.
So yeah, no, that's tricky. I'd have to think really hard about that one.
Yeah. On the big screen, it was Lion King. Lion King was one of the first movies
Hmm.
I ever saw, period, on a movie screen. Movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. I think as great one movie is and real good other is, Dead Final Reckoning should have been one very tight 3:30 film with both the overarching plot and action scenes.
Dead Final Reckoning? Uh
They have Dead / Final Reckoning. Are they talking the Final Destination
Is
movie?
that the name of the new one?
I
Could
don't
be. I
know.
I've only seen the first two. And I like them fine. I never got super into it. They were fine. So yeah, I'm
Oh,
not the
Mission
guy to talk to
Impossible.
about.
I'm a dum dum.
Ah,
I'm a dum
that's
dum.
it.
It's
I'm
Mission
like, boy, why does
Impossible.
it sound familiar? All right, I saw Dead Reckoning. I did not see the last one. I'll probably
Thanks,
stream
chat.
it. Um, yeah, I'll probably stream it because everybody's told me the last chunk is great. Everything leading up to it is just a slog. It's a long slog. So I'll probably just do that.
Yeah, they were saying that it should just be one movie that was like 3 hours long.
Yeah,
Makes
that's what
sense.
it sounds like. Well,
Yeah.
because it sounds like the other two are already like 3 hours anyway,
Right.
so might as well.
Pudgy Bear, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you guys ever consider reviving Dark Tunes, or dare I say, that guy riffs?
Um, it's both a time thing, a passion thing, and yeah, a fatigue thing. Honestly, so it's funny. While it is getting better, I am kind of feeling like the long term effects of it that's starting to hit me. I'm just like, yeah, I feel like it's just while I'm not being knocked out for as long or days or anything like that, it's just slowly chipping away at me a little bit. So while like health wise I'm getting better, just the energy I feel like it's still sucking out a little bit of energy the more it stays with me. So yeah, it's the same reason I don't really do Untitled Review Show anymore because it was just taking too much time and yeah, like I said, just I know it sounds ridiculous, but it does really suck out a lot of energy out of you. So yeah, sadly, unless this goes away and I suddenly get the passion and the energy back, probably. But even before then, I was stopping because I was kind of out of ideas anyway.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on the movie Chocolat? Chocolate, maybe, with Johnny Depp?
Chocolate. Um, it's I like the acting. Everything else, it's another one of those movies where I could predict scene by scene what was going to happen. I'm like, all right, can we get to this already? Can we get to that? Can we get to the betrayal there? Can we get to the stuck up person realizing he was wrong? And that was really annoying. But the acting was very, very charming. I do remember that. But outside of that, I didn't really get into it.
Ultimate Frozen fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, watched the new NC thinking I saw it as a kid, but I only remember the blue in the pool. Then I realized I was thinking of Big Fat Liar.
All of them Munez movies blend together.
Ice Luigi, thank you for the $7 super chat. Any chance we can get an NC review of Stranger Things, possibly for this year's Nostalgia since the 5th and final season is coming out this year?
Uh, I'd have to go back and watch the whole thing, which I have seen them all. But yeah, I don't know. I could do like a vlog on. I don't know if I could do like a whole episode. Like I said, I don't think I have the energy or the passion for it. I do like the show, but yeah, I know people that are like diehard fans. I think that's something more for them to handle or tackle, I should say.
Will, thank you for becoming a member for 11 months in a row over on YouTube. Welcome
Thank
back.
you.
Appreciate that. Hey, Doug, just curious, what is the best acting scene you've seen from Brendan Fraser or Jamie Foxx?
Uh, from Jamie Foxx, the scene in Django where it sounds so unpleasant to say, but I mean when he's like pretty much beating up the other black guy, and he's on the horse and he's just like talking so awful to him. And that was the scene where I suddenly like this went from a really good movie to a great movie because I'm like, man, what the because he's doing this to save his wife, but he's like kind of betraying like everything that's going on and like reinforcing what this world is doing just for this one, against this one dude and probably other people, as well. And I was just like, man, what the hell would I do in that situation? Like, I love when a movie gets me asking that. And that performance was so good, but particularly in that scene, it was like chillingly good. And let's see, Brendan Fraser, probably say Cliff. Is that the name of the guy from Doom Patrol? Yeah, I loved him in that whole show, especially when you don't see his face. I mean, just that's most of it is just his voice, and it gets across so much in such an effective way. Yeah, that's probably it for me.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you wonder what happened to ownage pranks?
Ownage pranks. I'd have to look that up. That's not. No, watch, it's gonna be something that's like, oh, that thing. And I'm gonna be like, of course, like I had to see it like spelled out or something like that. No, actually, I don't know what this is. I will try to look it up and see what happened.
A lover of cinema, thank you for the 500 bits. I have an idea for a future tier list X-Men movies. I found one online that has all the Fox X-Men movies from X-Men 2000 to New Mutants, as well as Deadpool and Wolverine as a bonus. Well, here's the thing. We actually had that. We didn't do it. We had that as a incentive for like 2 or 3 months leading up to Deadpool and Wolverine, and we just never hit the goal. So I figured that people weren't interested in seeing it if we never hit the goal, and we had it up for like 2 months.
But First Class, my personal favorite.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will there be a Zod review for Superman when it comes out?
Yeah, I still have the hair for it. Probably not.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Endgame, whose ending do you like more and you think was done better? Iron Man's or Captain America's?
That's rough. Man, they both are. They're both so fulfilling in very different ways. Maybe Captain America, because you would not have predicted, Iron Man. Okay, like that's kind of the route you think it's gonna go. With Captain America, that was a legit like, kind of quiet surprise, and the way they reveal it I thought was like, very touching and very interesting. I guess I'll say him, but it's pretty close.
Taylor with Ty, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, I know you didn't get into the first Matrix movie all that much, but would you say that Everything Everywhere All at Once is everything you wanted the first Matrix to be, seeing how the directors cited that film as one of the strongest inspirations?
Parts. Yeah, I guess they really focus more on the well, okay, the ending with the emotional is sort of like the emotional logic is kind of pushing the story forward. Like that makes much more sense there than it does in the Matrix, where she's told, well, you can't die because she told me I would fall in love with whoever the one is, and I'm in love with you. And I'm just like, what chemistry did they have? How many conversations did they even have? Like didn't make a whole lot of sense. So in that element, I can see that working stronger. And I'm sure in many others too. But yeah, I don't mind The Matrix being, just a smart action film. That's fine. It just needs to F me Karen. It needs to have the logic make more sense.
Magic Window, thank you so much for that $50 super chat. Really appreciate that. One theory I've heard for the aliens not being able to enter through the door in Signs is that they are like demons in certain folklore that can't enter unless let in, which would go with the religious angle of the film. Still dumb though.
Yeah, the vampires. That's always where I say, if you want to do homages, if you want to do this is a send up to classic stories, that's fine. Create a world where it makes sense. Even again, if it was like, we talked about emotional storytelling a couple months back. I mean, if the whole film went on that angle, that'd be fine. But because it's supposed to be like, no, it's like you're really there, and the aliens are really landing, and kids really talk this way, and adults really talk this way. No, they don't. Yeah, that's all the stuff that pushed me away from it.
Adriana, thank you for the $10 super chat. Do you have any advice when it comes to video chatting? I have an online friend that I voice chat with occasionally, and I'm definitely comfortable with them, but I've never video chatted before.
Boy, I don't know if I'm the best. I'm either the best or the worst to talk about it, because for me, I mean, most people when they talk, they'll be talking like this, like just looking at the computer screen, and that doesn't bother anybody. For me, I think because I'm an entertainer, I feel like I have to look at the camera. So, but I like to see how, what my faces look like too. I'm like giving the right expression and everything. So what I do is I take, I'm on Zoom, and I take the whatchamacallit?
Camera?
Image monitor. Yeah, just the video of myself, and I push it up close to where the camera is. So if I want to look at the camera, I can do that. But if I want a general idea of what I'm doing, I can just look down a little bit. So I'm looking at camera, looking at myself, looking at camera, looking at myself. And you can't tell that big a difference. So but that's me talking as an entertainer. I don't know if that's the same for video chatting. So yeah, I don't know if I'm the person to ask for that.
Truth, Hope, Love, thank you for the $5 super chat. You hear the unfortunate controversy involving Saberspark.
Uh, yeah, I saw the video on it. Seemed to explain it. I it sounds like he cleared everything up. I don't know. I'm not too much in that world, but yeah, I just saw that, and we were next to that person at a con. That whatever. I love Kim Possible. Whatever. She seemed very nice. A nice person, stuff like that. So yeah. I guess I gotta just go by what was shown and what the evidence is, which it seems like he has more of. So yeah, I gotta go off of that, I guess.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Would you ever do a review of Larry Crown?
Boy, I don't think I know that one. Let me see.
I've never heard
Larry
that either.
Crown.
Larry Crown.
Wow. As soon as I saw the picture, I'm like, oh, it's a Tom Hanks, Julia Roberts movie from 2011 that I think the whole world forgot about. And to be fair, it looks like a very easily forgettable movie. Probably not. I don't think the clicks are in there, but I was gonna say maybe I'll check it out, but that just so doesn't have the label, just doesn't have the stuff I'm looking for in a movie. Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts together at last. That's just not my thing. It just looks like they're on like a little bike laughing and stuff. I'm like, this doesn't look like it's for me.
Sean, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, I found another idea for Nostalgiaween, the 1996 film Mary Riley. It's basically the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story told from the maid's point of view. Interested?
I never saw it. I heard it was but it was a good idea. And again, I don't think there's any clicks in it, and I don't have much passion for it either. So probably not. But I will say I'll probably try to check it out on its own because I always did like the idea. I thought it sounded interesting.
Truth, Hope, Love, thank you for the $5 super chat. Based on reviews on somewhat similar movies, you'd take Click over Bruce Almighty.
I think the idea is a little bit more inventive. Bruce Almighty, I guess, is not that either of them are particularly funny, but the emotional scenes in Click are weirdly very, very well done, like surprisingly. And the emotional moments in Bruce Almighty really don't work. It's one of the strange instances where the emotional ending stuff in Click.
Shoot, we are dropping frames like crazy.
No.
I'm
oh
at
no!
zero.
Oh no! Oh, are we off?
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're here, but it's struggling. Hold on. I'm gonna switch us over to a BRB screen and see if it'll resolve itself. Hold on here.
Well, BRB.
Okay, I think we're back. I think the internet stabilized.
We good?
Yeah, we're all here.
We good?
That was just my internet. My internet dropped.
Okay.
It was just my internet. I think we're back. I'm waiting for chat to. I'm waiting for chat to confirm. Chat still has not confirmed.
Uh-oh.
Better. Okay. The mics are choppy. Ooh, interesting. Shouldn't be. I'm not seeing that issue on my end.
Unless there was just a delay.
Okay, cool. Twitch chat is confirming that it's all working.
Okay.
Does anyone else have a choppy mic over on the side of YouTube? Is YouTube getting weird, warped audio? Okay, mics are fine for Twitch. Great.
We'll still keep talking just so they can
Yeah.
see if it's
Right, right, right,
choppy or
right. It's back to normal now. Okay,
not.
it's
All right,
back
cool,
to normal
awesome.
now. All right, all right, all
Now
right.
what? We're gonna get influx of people saying it sounds fine, because
Yeah,
there's the delay on our end.
it's delayed now. Yeah, we only dropped. I mean, to be fair, I only dropped about 2% of frames, so could have been worse.
Not bad.
But we're all
Not
here
bad.
now. All right, fantastic. Daniel, thank you for the $5 super chat. Happiest of hump days to you guys. Doug, have you seen the Percy Jackson movies? What do you think?
I saw the first one. I did a review of it. I didn't think it was very good, but I haven't read the books either. So I hear if you haven't read the books, you don't like it. If you have read the books, you really don't like it. I haven't seen the second one yet. I guess we should do the second one the more I think about it, because there isn't our movie.
Oh, and can you give a condensed version of Click versus Bruce Almighty? You kind of like we cut
Oh,
out during
sorry.
that. Just a condensed.
Yeah, sure. I like the dramatic moments in Click more than I did in Bruce, even though Bruce was funnier. The dramatic moments in Click I thought were more effective than the funnier moments in Bruce. So, yeah, that's a shortened version.
The Ultimate Frozen Fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Unpopular opinion, I hated Mandalorian. I found it boring and Grogu less cute, more creepy. I watched season 1 and no desire to continue. I feel alone on that though.
I mean, if you don't like season 1, you're not going to like the rest of it.
No.
I've known a few people that couldn't really get into it. They just found it kind of boring. And I get that. I like the atmosphere of it. I like those kind of stories of the lone gunman in this very atmospheric, quiet world that can suddenly just explode with some form of insanity. But it's not surprising if somebody doesn't get into that.
Daniel, thank you for the $20 super chat. Really appreciate
you.
that. No message, just the chat. Sorry.
Thank you
Movie
so
Mike,
much.
thank you for the 500 bits. Do you have any plans to review Barnyard? If you do, the scene I look excited to see you react to is where Sam Elliott, of all people, sings I Won't Back Down.
I have it on the list. I've never seen it before, but enough people have recommended it that I got kind of curious about it.
Movie Lover, thank you for the 500 bits. So I've started watching Darkwing Duck earlier this week. Who are your top 3 favorite villains in the show? Also, is it just me or does Dr. Bushroot kind of look like Dom DeLuise?
He sounds like Dom DeLuise, big time. Yeah, let me look at the. It's been a hot minute since I've looked at the villain. Definitely, Negaduck is pretty great. Yeah, Megavolt's pretty funny. I feel like there's a real funny one, and I'm not seeing him here. So, and then I guess I gotta go with Taurus Bulba just because it's Tim Curry. No, actually, I take it back. Steelbeak's pretty great because I love Paulson's voice. Yeah, I'll go with those.
Kelly, thank you for the $5 super chat. Ohana means family, and family means the neighbors can raise you.
I saw that. I'm in half agreement with that because I'm not even like super strong with the ending of that movie. I said I kind of got to let it sit a little bit. But like when you see what they do with it, it's not quite like people are making it out. But yes, it is a little odd. There's an idea in there. I don't think they quite hashed it out, but again, I was like, boy, they could have. Like, there's something here that could be developed a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know if it quite worked either.
The Unknown Podcast, thank you for the $2 super chat. Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Okay, Doug, vice versa. What are some shows that you hate that everyone else loves?
Okay, wait, did I answer that? No. So I already answered that before, so I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna say a show that I loved and everybody else hates. Boy, I'm sure there's something. Boy, with TV, I'm usually on the same page with a lot of people. There was a show called Stark Raving Mad. It only had 1 season. It was Neil Patrick Harris and Tony Shalhoub. He was the assistant to a Stephen King type writer. And like it wasn't phenomenal or anything, but the characters were pretty funny. And there was enough laughs in there where I'm like, man, I could see this becoming something. And they took it off the air after only 1 season. I was just like, oh, I would like a little bit more of that. I'm sure there's others, but yeah, it's the only one I can think of for some reason.
Danny, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, Doug and Heather. Have you ever seen the 1981 Rocky Horror sequel, Shock Treatment? It is criminally underrated, in my opinion.
No, I probably should. Though I will say this: I like Rocky Horror fine. I've never been obsessed with it. I see why other people are. Um, so I've never been like in a super rush to check it out. But I keep forgetting it exists. I'm like, yeah, I probably should give that a watch.
Thomas, thank you for the $7 super chat. Hello, Doug. Would you ever review any of the DC animated movies like Batman Under the Red Hood?
I gotta see it again because a
Yes, you
lot of people say it's
do.
like one of the best, probably the best of any, like the Batman animated anything. And I'm just like, man, what? Because I saw it, I remember liking it fine, but I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying full attention to it. So I really do have to watch it again. If I did, I probably do like a vlog review of it. I don't know if I do an NC, but I don't know. Actually, I did do the was it Batman versus the Ninja Turtles, so maybe
Mhm.
there's an idea in there. I'll write that down as a possibility. Actually, it might be some there.
Magic Window, thank you for the $10 super chat. I think they show Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Freddy Got Fingered, contrasting with Leave It to Beaver to show how messed up their family is versus an ideal family.
Um, well, where they showed that was, I mean, again, I don't even think I can say the name of the place on YouTube, but it wasn't just at their family home. It was already a very disturbing spot. I'll say that. And we just could not believe what we were seeing there. We were just bombarded by so much unpleasantness and so much like disturbing unpleasantness, which was the point. So yeah, I guess just as a movie in general as a whole, yeah, maybe I could agree with you. But in that scene, it's not just at a family house; it's at a different place. We'll just say that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Giancarlo Esposito's character in Stan Edgar? Oh, sorry, his character Stan Edgar in The Boys.
Uh, yeah, he's really good. It's funny. I was thinking of all the other roles he played, and I'm like, that's right, he is in The Boys. Which character was that? That's right, he's the
He
businessman. He's kind of the guy in
pigeonholes him.
control
He
and
gets
everything.
pigeonholed a little bit there,
He does, but he
but he's so
plays
good at
it
it.
so well. Yeah, I don't mind if they're really, really good at it. And no, I liked again, familiar, but he always plays it great.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Possible Disney December on 102 Dalmatians or The Rookie starring Dennis Quaid.
I always have 102 Dalmatians on the list, and for whatever reason, I mean, I know the reason. There's always other stuff that pops up, and I'm not in a super rush to see that movie, but I probably should. I didn't know the first one got like really bad reviews, and I'm like, I thought the first one was fine. I was kind of surprised to see like, especially of all the Disney live action remakes, like that's one people are like, boo. It's really weird.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What's your favorite scene from Aladdin?
Favorite scene from Aladdin? Boy, I'm trying to think because I remember seeing that on the big screen. I was trying to think what moment really like just sucked me. Maybe just the opening. I love the colors in the opening. I love that song. Seeing it in a theater with the great sound was really cool. But the funny thing is, probably my favorite scene is probably the Prince Ali song because every time I saw it 3 times in the theater, and it's funny because they do a joke about this in honest trailers where they're like, let them pee, your kid can go pee, nothing's happening here, something like
Yeah.
that. And that was always the moment where I had to go to the bathroom, so I missed the song twice. And then I hear it on the soundtrack. I'm like, this song sounds great. I gotta see this. So when I actually did see it, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, this is like my favorite song. I remember watching it. And now that I'm older, probably something like A Whole New World. I love the way that I love that song. I love the way it's animated.
Magic Window, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you have preferences for seeing movies at the theater, where you sit, what you eat, drink, etc.?
I do. I usually sit where I think a lot of theaters have this, where there's like a bar. You have the section like near the front, and then you have the section where it's usually like a bar there, like a railing you can put your feet on. If they have either a hot dog or a pizza, I like getting that at a theater. Because popcorn weirdly makes me sick, but that doesn't for some reason. It's odd. Yeah, I think That's about it.
James, thank you for the $5 super chat. Happy Wednesday, Doug and Heather. May we please have a clue for next week's NC?
It is I was gonna say based on a remake, but that makes no sense. I'm doing it because there is a remake coming out. I don't think that's too specific. It probably is, but then again, there's so many remakes, so you'll see.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Is Walter or Heather familiar with the character of Ernest P. Worrell? I'm not gonna lie, I looked it up really fast because I was like, am I? I'm not. He's the main character of all the Ernest movies. I've never seen an Ernest movie. I've never seen an Ernest movie.
Do you like Christmas movies?
I do.
You might like Ernest Saves Christmas because like the film's okay, but it has, I still think, the best Santa Claus in any movie. It's the guy who voiced the Sultan from Aladdin.
Okay.
So just imagine that voice as Santa Claus. It's just so good.
Yeah. Taylor with Ty, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, have you seen the Vanity Fair video where Tommy Wiseau breaks down a scene from The Disaster Artist?
I don't think so. I think I saw like the thumbnail of it, but I never checked it out. I probably should have because there's probably great comedy in that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Ryan and Homelander's relationship in The Boys? I find it interesting how despite how twisted Homelander is, he does care about Ryan in his own messed up way. Right, well
Ryan's
that's why it's
the
interesting.
son, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the latest season. I did
Neither
see
have
the
I.
season before it though. So I'm only going off of that. It's good. It does make sense. I still go back and forth about how it's just a little too convenient the way it kind of worked, where he goes to. I guess I won't give it away, but it's a little too convenient the way it works. But yes, the relationship, the connection they have, is interesting and alarming as it's supposed to be.
Jack, thank you for the £5 super chat. Batman animated series is the best superhero cartoon, followed by Justice League and the Spectacular Spider-Man. Thoughts?
Yeah, I gotta see. Did I see all of Justice League? I'm trying to remember now. No, I don't think I did. I've been trying to catch up on a little bit because a lot of people have said that. Like, it's like one of the great superhero shows. Yeah, I don't think I've seen one better. Definitely not one that's as influential. I mean, just every superhero show now is trying to do something like Batman the Animated Series. Even just down to how like shows are drawn now. Everybody's kind of doing that Bruce Timm Art Deco style a little bit, some variation of that. So yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree.
Taylor, thank you for the $5 super chat, or Tyler rather, sorry. What were your thoughts on Beverly Hills Cop Axel F?
It's gonna sound awful. Is that the name of the main character? I think. Hold on. Yeah, Axel Foley, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, I have not seen this. I forgot that was a new one that came out. Wow, I totally forgot about that. And I heard it's good. I really should see it.
Yeah.
Man, I remember seeing the advertisement. I'm like, oh, that looks good. And then I completely forgot about it. So yeah, I got to check it out.
Seattle Lad, sorry, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on Jeffrey Dean Morgan? Love him as Negan in The Walking Dead. Top 3 actor for me.
Negan Walking. It's been a while since I've seen the show. That dude. I think I've only seen him in Walking Dead. I don't know him from anything else, but so I only saw up to the the bat scene at the end of that season and the beginning of the other season, because of course I had to know who it was, and that was fulfillingly disturbing. But yeah, after that I was already kind of on my way out with Walking Dead. It was just one of those where I'm like, yeah, I don't hate this, I'm just losing interest. So I sadly didn't get to see a ton of him, but I did hear he was very, very good. Just those scenes alone, I mean, are clearly very effective.
Pudgy Bear, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you agree that Grandpa Joe is the villain in the 1971 Willy Wonka?
What? Because he was faking walking? Is that the whole
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. Well, and also he
Oh,
kind of convinces Charlie to do things like drink the fizzy lifting drink and,
oh.
he's kind of an a-hole.
Yeah, but if you think about it, that's what puts him through the test, and that's how Charlie proves himself and
Mhm.
everything. He's the one that said, "Go get the magic ticket or the golden ticket." I don't know. It's a fun theory. I don't know how much behind is that legit.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. I definitely agree with you about that scene in Breaking Bad, but I like how after it's over, he has a tear fall down his face, showing he does have some guilt.
Sure, but what's that? Batman. It's not who I am underneath. What I do, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a good example of that.
Tyler, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is about Beverly Hill Cop again. I didn't realize the first one was a part, and this is part two.
Oh,
In my opinion, I think the first Beverly Hills Cop still could have worked with Stallone as Axel, but as the straight man instead of the comedic relief. Thoughts?
huh. Man, it'd be a different movie. I'm not saying it couldn't work. It would just be so different. It really would just be almost an entirely different film. So I don't know. I mean, Murphy is so funny in that role, and I think Stallone could be cool and even pretty funny. But man, Murphy just so made that his own. It'd be interesting, but I think they made the right choice.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Universal ET, the extraterrestrial review. It's coming. Just keep your eyes out. You got to watch every day, aka I don't know what day it's coming out, but you should be watching Universal every day. Gosh darn it.
Sure.
Ortonic Ort, thank you for the $5 super chat. Suggestion for future video: Arthur and the Invisibles or Spiderwick. Both are Freddie Highmore performances anyway.
I have Spiderwick on there. I haven't seen either. I was thinking about doing the Invisibles, but I guess what one did we do? We did Strange Magic, which is kind of similar, and that didn't really do anything that crazy, so we just kind of push it aside. But I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get back to it because yeah, it is one I haven't seen.
CC, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hi, Doug. Are you going to join the cast of Toonerific Tyreek's animated pilot? Hey, since he asked in one of his videos, also favorite Star Kid musical.
I gotta look up. Star Kid's one that did like
They
the
did
Aladdin one and stuff like that, right?
they did a what one?
Didn't they do an Aladdin one?
I don't remember. They
Hold on.
definitely did a Harry Potter one years and years ago.
I did they do Holy Musical Batman? They did do Holy Musical Batman. So I haven't seen a ton of them, but I
have seen that.
loved. That's just my one of my favorite Commissioner Gordon's. Oh, maybe we should read it. There's no reason to have it that way, but that just cracked me up. And for Terrific Tyreek, yeah, I did reach out, and yeah, he's gonna have me on there. So cool.
Yay. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen James Gunn's film Slither?
Yeah, that movie's fun. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, just a good old fashioned, gory, crazy ass horror flick.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. With Jaws hitting 50 this year, will you do a review for its 50th anniversary?
No, but Walter will for Universal. So yeah, he's and honestly, he'll do it so much better than I could do it. So I really like Jaws and I appreciate it. It's not a movie I watch a ton though. So yeah, I think that's more a film like because he goes into the history of all these and just goes into great detail. I just feel he could do it so much better than I could.
Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Seriously, Doug, how have you not seen a Paul Newman movie or heard of his movies, The Verdict or Absence of Malice? Also, he did a movie with Hitchcock co-starring Julie Andrews.
It happened. Everybody has a blind spot, even in their profession. And I feel like I have several, especially with, there's such a long history. It's like saying, how have you not read this book? It's like, there's so many books. It's like hundreds of years. And film doesn't go back that far, but still lots of films. So Yeah, and Paul Newman is one of those actors where he's very talented, very good. For whatever reason, I just haven't seen that many of his flicks. But what I have, he's good. I mean, obviously. But yeah, no, for whatever reason, that's one of my blind spots.
Nicholas, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hi, Doug. Do you have a favorite Universal monster?
Probably. I like both the Frankenstein monster and the Bride. Even though the Bride doesn't have much screen time, which kind of makes it even more tragic. Those are the ones I like. I love the tragic characters, and the main monster especially. It's just so tragic. But I mean, I feel like every one of them has something I really like. Like Phantom of the Opera, the werewolf or Wolfman, I should say, a Dracula. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll say the Frankenstein monster, but man, yeah, I had to really think about it because they're all just so good.
Maze, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part one. Good evening, Doug and Heather. Hope you guys are doing great. I got to see the live action Lilo and Stitch again with my family, and to be continued. Tyler, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, will there ever be an NC review of the live action 101 Dalmatians or its sequel 102 Dalmatians? Been dying for you to review those two.
Well, I did one for Disney December. I did the first one. I feel like I got my thoughts out there. I didn't mind it that much. I didn't know apparently it was like this not very not very appreciated movie, I guess, but I thought it was fine. I haven't seen the sequel. I heard the sequel's not good. I'll probably do it for a Disney December sometime in the future.
Retro, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, did you see the 1990 alien comedy Spaced Invaders? It has Ariana Richards before she played Lex in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I so want to like that movie. There are a few lines that I do quite. I love I have not yet begun to fight. Well, that would be a great time to start. There's a few lines that work in it, and the setup for the movie is very, very funny. But man, yeah, there's like, it's such an awkward movie. Brad Jones did a very funny review of it years ago, and he was on the same page. He's like, man, yeah, I wanted to like that movie. This just so looks up my alley, and it's just not good.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Haven't seen the Agent Cody Bakes NC yet, though hoping you'll do the sequel some point too, with its safer and more kid-friendly tone and how that'll contrast to it.
I don't know. That might be a good thing. Usually I'm like, oh, everyone's too sanitized and everything. This is the one time where I'm like, yeah, that might be a good thing for this franchise.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will there be a Universal for The Invisible Man? If not, what does Walter think of it? Fun fact, the love interest was the old lady in Titanic. I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty
there's
sure
so many
he is.
Universal monsters. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Maze, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part two. The scene in the water towards the end was done perfectly, and I can't think of any other scene that was more perfect in the movie ever. Lilo and Stitch remake, yeah.
Yeah. Fair. I mean, it wasn't. Honestly, I'm just glad it was something kind of different. Yeah, I don't know. I think because I've seen scenes like that so many times in movies, it didn't like, oh, my heart or anything like that. But it wasn't bad. I feel like that's the whole movie in a nutshell. It's like, yeah, I've just seen this stuff so many times. But it's hard to say it's like awful or terrible. I've just seen it to death.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Martin Campbell film do you think is worse, Legend of Zorro or Green Lantern?
That's rough. That's really rough. Maybe Green Lantern, because at least Zorro is so bad it's kind of fascinating.
Okay.
Where Green Lantern is mostly just boring. It doesn't look good. It doesn't sound good. There's a million things that don't make sense about it. And there's so many good people behind it too. That's the real tragedy of it. So yeah, probably that.
Blacktron, thank you for the $10 super chat. On your next commercial special, you should include the Warner Bros. Catalog commercial from the Batman 1998 VHS. Bugs Bunny looks oddly familiar wearing that Warner Bros. Ball cap and tie.
I think somebody brought that up before. They're like, hey, look, Bugs Bunny was dressed up like at the NC back then. I'm like, oh, and I have seen that intro a million times because I watched the VHS so many times. Yeah, outside of that, though, I don't think. I'm gonna get a ton out of that. There's not like, oh, I can really make fun of this or whatever. So probably not. But I do remember that I saw it a lot because, like I said, we did really, really watch Batman '89 a lot.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. This question is for both of you. What are your general thoughts on anime? Are you really into it, mixed, or more casual fans? Some of my favorites would include Mob Psycho, 100, Space Dandy, Cowboy Bebop, and Paranoia Agent.
Heather's really into it. Like, she is an expert.
See,
You should show your mech. I was gonna say you should show your mech collection that you have.
My Gunplas. I do love my Gunplas. I would say I would consider myself more mixed. Like, I love anime, and anime is really cool, but it's hard to keep up with. Like, I haven't even watched the latest Gundam series yet, and I love Gundam.
But we're also like, we're also older now. I mean, the
Yes.
fact that we can keep up, that you can keep up at all with all the anime that's out there. So I don't know. I think that counts as like a pretty big super fan. But
yeah, I plan on starting Apothecary Diaries soon if anyone else is interested in anime. I just finished Free Ren and Delicious in Dungeon. Fantastic.
I do like anime. It's not my number one thing though. So I kind of try to watch the real big stuff, like the real holy smokes, you got to see this. This is amazing. So like the Ghibli stuff, Cowboy Bebop, anything from the Cowboy Bebop team. I've even watched a little Lazarus. And I've seen like Full Metal Alchemist and some of those. So but yeah, I'm definitely I will say this. I like when I can find something that's not well known, like Kino's Journey or Paranoia Agent or something like that. Like ones that even have like big names behind them, but a lot of people don't know. I'm just like, all right, there's a couple because there's so many big ones that I haven't checked out. I'm familiar with, but I haven't watched. So I guess a casual fan for me.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. And Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, what do you think of the scene when they eat the big cookie? In your mind, do you think, have a cookie?
That was my favorite scene in the movie because I loved those cookies. When I was a kid, I was going to say surprisingly, but the more I think about it, maybe not. I wasn't given a lot of junk food. I wasn't given a lot of sweets, probably because I was just already super hyper. And those were the cookies where I'm like, I want those oatmeal sandwiches. So I just saw there was a big one. I'm just like, yeah, no, half of that would be gone by the evening if I was there.
MC Dexpo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Please review Agent Cody Banks 2 Destination London like the other user suggested. It is somehow far, far worse. ACB1 was pure art in comparison.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are recommending it, so I'll try to keep it on the radar. But yeah, a lot of it depends how the first review does. So we'll have to see.
Adriana, thank you for the $10 super chat. Since you reviewed White Chicks, will you review another Wayna's movie, Little Man? I liked it as a kid, but I'd be curious if it holds up through your review.
I never did see that one. Just for the absurdity of it, I did kind of like the premise, but because that's like an old Warner Brothers cartoon. But I never did check it out. We'll see. Because White Chicks did okay. Boy, that sounds weird to say. Yep. But yeah, we'll see.
God of Chaos, thank you for the $10 super chat. The age of primes has ended. No more false prophets. Follow me and you will never again be deceived. Sorry. Rise up. I will lead us all into the future. I am Megatron.
It's just you and me, Megatron. That's like the only line I remember from Hey the Chancellor. It's not even like the best one.
Retro, thank you for the $10 super chat. Speaking of King of the Hill, have you heard of / seen a 1993 drama called King of the Hill? It is set in the Depression in St. Louis with child actor Jesse Bradford and Karen Allen.
In 1993?
Yeah, 1993.
Okay. Actually, okay, I do know what this is. I haven't seen it, but I am aware of it. Because I remember seeing it advertised. No, I haven't seen it though.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Muppets 3D has closed. Wish you could do a review of that attraction.
I did go to it before. We've dabbled with the idea of like maybe one of the things we add to a Disney December is maybe Disney rides. So maybe I would do it, or maybe I can I'd have to get footage from somewhere, but maybe that'd be me like dabbling in the idea of like doing a Disney ride. Like, well, I got the doing the Muppets this year, so maybe do Muppets 3D. We'll see.
Stoic Clam, thank you for the 500 bits. I believe it's time for commercials. Agree or disagree?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I literally said I'm doing commercials soon, so yeah, those international commercials. So there is a difference. We're seeing how that's gonna do, like maybe doing like, because we don't want to do two specific commercial specials like the same one,
Mm-hmm.
because we like saving it for November, but we like to dabble and say, like we had a Bill Cosby one, we had like a Christmas one and stuff like that. So yeah, playing with that a little bit.
Truth, Hope, Love, thank you for the $5 super chat. Little Man should be a great one because of how infamously it steals from the Bugs Bunny cartoon. Being such Looney Tunes stands, you should be enraged.
you know, I should, but the effect is so weird. And I do feel like that is one of those differences where in animation, it's like, well, yeah, this fits fine. In live action, it is so nightmarish. It's kind of amazing. So, we'll see. Maybe there's an idea in there.
Maze, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which Patrick Warburton character do you like more? Ken from B Movie or Kronk from Emperor's New Groove?
Oh, Kronk.
I
Come
feel like
on.
Kronk is his iconic role, you know?
Yeah.
WC, thank you for the $5 super chat. Is there a character you know little to nothing about, but you love / really like their design? Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, personally. Great choice. I also appreciate all of Sephiroth's assets.
Assets. Mm-hmm.
He's got
Dead
a
assets.
really long sword, Doug.
um, Usually that's a pretty common thing. One that always stood out to me. I must have brought this up in the review, but just there's just a little bat walking around in Nightmare Before Christmas, and I can't remember if it's a boy or a girl, but it's just got this bat head, just this little tiny body, and the wings are so big that it walks with the wings, like that's its feet, kind of thing. And it was such a simple but really creative design. I just loved looking at this thing. I love the originality of that. I'm still here. I'm just letting Chaplin out real fast.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are Rob's thoughts on Howl's Moving Castle in contrast to yours?
I think he liked it fine. It's not one of his particular favorites, but I think he does like it.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. I know you don't like either of these Looney Tunes movie villains, but if you had to choose, who think is more annoying? Steve Martin from Looney Tunes Back in Action or Don Cheadle from Space Jam: A New Legacy?
Probably Cheeto. Steve Martin, at least you can make the argument he's supposed to be that way. I don't think that was intentional for Don Cheadle to kind of be that odd and awkward. And you could have made a really great, funny villain out of that. But yeah, it didn't quite work.
Tyler, thank you for the $5 super chat. I would love to see fanscriptions of planned but canceled films. For example, James Cameron's Spider-Man, Ghostbusters 3, etc.
Maybe we haven't done fanscription in a while because Walter's been doing Universal and some other side projects and stuff like that. But maybe I'll get back to it at some point.
Biz Baz Despaz, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Okay,
Great. Doug wets his bed on purpose to fulfill his deepest desires. Doug, how do you feel about this person getting footage from your house somehow?
I mean, I was wondering what that little hole in my wall was about, but I was just too lazy to patch it up. Now I should probably get on that.
Well, now the internet knows, so darn.
I mean, they suspected long before.
Retro Schmo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which Ninja Turtles 80s and 90s cartoon did you relate to or like the best?
I mean, the 80s... Oh, wait. Which cartoon in the 80s or 90s, or which Ninja Turtle from the show from the 80s and 90s?
I think maybe which Ninja Turtle.
Okay. I love Michelangelo. I felt that was me. Anytime there was a cartoon character that was a doofus, but just like to have fun, sort of an ignorance is bliss type character, and that was always the one I liked because I knew that was me. Say Chip and Dale, that really was Rob and me. Rob was Chip, I was Dale. That was just totally our personalities. So yeah, I relate to him the most.
Shouting Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. I just turned 28 yesterday. I feel like I'm getting older. Well, happy birthday, and you're still a spring chicken. Don't worry about it. Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will we ever see Hyper, Fangirl, and Devil Boner again?
I'm sure we'll get them in something. It is one of those things where as I get older, it's like, at what point do you say, okay, come on, now this is looking ridiculous. Like I have to darken the beard and stuff like that whenever I play him now, but I don't think I'm too wrinkly. I don't think I'm at that point. So yeah, we could probably get him in something. Uh, Again, a lot of the sketches and everything I've scaled back on a little bit because again, I hate to say it does take more time to think and plan shuts out and stuff like that. When you got this thing, it just takes more out of you. But that doesn't mean we're not going to have them back in something because I do. Those characters are really fun. They're a good power couple. I really like them as a couple.
Ultimate Frozen fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. A common trope I've noticed in Doug's vlog reviews is that the movie feels like it came out 30 years ago and was written by 60-year-old boomers.
uh, yeah. I mean, it feels like they're written that way. They probably are, or at the very least, they're dictated to by those kind of people. The people that look at it and then say, "No, no, no, you got this. No, you got to throw that in. No, throw this straight." Like that. I can kind of see like the 60-year-old boomer thing. And the reason I say what feels like came out, 30 years ago is probably again the same crowd, producers, whatever, are saying, "Well, this worked. So do that again." And when you do it over and over and over, you don't catch on to what's kind of hot and new and fresh. It's going to come across that way. So yeah, and they're wondering why a lot of people are, not going to these things as much.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Since you're not playing a game right now, do you mind looking up pics of McDonald's Inspector Gadget 1999 set, if you haven't already, to say what you think?
What was it? McDonald's
Inspector Gadget.
Oh, that's right.
1999 set.
1999. So yeah, like it's a bunch of toys, but when you put them together, it actually makes a whole Inspector Gadget. Oh, it's a little nightmarish, but yeah, that's a clever idea. It's very smart. It was a Fisher Price one too. Maybe that's why they yeah, they specialize in that stuff, so that would make sense. A little nightmarish, but it is clever. I think it's a pretty clever idea.
Shouting Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you think that the MCU is starting to make films that have a similar quality to a live-action Disney remake?
There's definitely like tropes and a formula that certainly seems tiring, but in Marvel there was already kind of a charm to it where I don't know if there's ever a charm to it in the Disney live action remakes. So I guess I'll give them a little bit more wiggle room, but like I am sick of, especially the bad quippy comedic writing. That's what's really getting on my nerves. Like just a part of me gets it because humor, everything's moving a lot faster now because of the internet, and that includes humor. So something that's really topical at the moment, by the time the movie comes out, it'll already be like, a year old or half a year old or something like that. But I look at like Deadpool and Wolverine and stuff like that, and they can say, and even a few of the lines from Thunderbolts, and they can still really, really work. So that's the thing where I feel like, at the very least, can you kind of tweak that? Can you make that better? Because that's the thing that's really getting tiring, in my opinion.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Fun fact about Zorro. Before Stuart Wilson was cast as Rafael Montanaro, two actors considered were Edward James Olmos and Lance Henriksen. Do you think either of them would have worked?
Lance Henriksen would have been really good. Edward James Olmos would... Have I seen him as the villain? If I'm thinking of the right... No, I'm thinking of someone else. Hold on. Let me... I know that name. Let me look him up again. Hold on. Edward James Olmos. This is one of those actors where... Okay, there we are. Blade Runner. Yeah, actually, I could see either of those working. I am a big fan of Lance Henriksen, so I probably leaned a hint more towards that, but either of those would have worked, yeah.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Did you ever see The Angriest Man in Brooklyn with Robin Williams?
No, I heard of it, but I never did see it.
On a Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. Okay, about the aliens and signs. They do open the basement door at the end. They apparently learned, so let's put this whole they can't open doors thing to rest. Here's the real question. Thoughts on The Accountant with Ben Affleck?
I never saw it, but I heard it was good. Enough to warrant a sequel. Like when the sequel came out, I'm like, I haven't even heard of the first one. So I should probably check that out. And if with your first comment, you hear that all you can't laugh at anymore. So stop. No more of
Night
that.
King, thank you for the $5 super chat. I have to ask Arnold. Sorry, I misread that completely. I have to say, Arnold Vosloo knew what movie Cody Banks was. He plays it completely straight and chews every scene he's in. Best part of the movie, in my opinion.
uh, I thought he could have gone crazier. We know he knows how to both be intimidating and funny when you see him in the Mummy movies. I think he was in some of the Darkman sequels and stuff. So I don't blame him though. I think that's a directing thing because they give him the cool makeup and everything, and boy, they can have fun. And once in a while, they have a little bit of a laugh, but it's like, man, you could do so much more. Both those actors can be both really menacing and really funny. So I don't blame them. I think that's more of like a directing and editing thing.
Viacom, thank you for the $5 super chat. AJ the Groundhog, thank you for the $10 super chat. A bit random, but would you ever reprise your role as Damien the Demon Slayer for Smiling Friends if given the chance?
It's Daniel, the Demon Slayer. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't think they are though. Without going into too much detail, there was a reason they could only have a certain number of YouTube. It's like a studio thing. There's only a certain number of YouTubers they could have in each season. So if I was them, I wouldn't waste it on me again. I would go get a different YouTuber. But yeah, no, if they asked anything they want, I'm totally on board.
Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. At least Agent Cody Banks didn't end with a underage kiss like Blank Check did.
Yeah, man, it's funny because I make a reference of that in there. I was like, yeah, Blank Check. I don't think we're supposed to take it that seriously. And when I typed that in, I did see that image. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And like they do have that in there. It's pretty different when it's live action. But again, I do stand by. I think the idea was that it's playing into a kid's fantasy. Kids, often will look at adults, grown-ups, and be like, have little crushes on them and stuff like that. So that's the kid fantasy. But to do it in real life is pretty ewy.
Amanda, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on Equilibrium and reviewing it for an NC in all its early 2000s glory?
Equilibrium's fun. That movie is so much fun. Wait. I want to make sure I'm thinking the right one. That's like the one with Gun Fu, right? On Equilibrium. I'm sure I'm spelling that wrong. Yes, that movie. It's a very silly movie, but it's a very cool stylized movie. And like I said, it has something that we always call gun fu, where it's like you're boom, 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 boom. You're very direct and exact, but you'll block before they can shoot you. So there's just like you have two people with guns like trying to shoot the other, but they can't, and it's so much fun. Maybe I'll do an NC. It's another one. I don't know how much of a following it has, but it's a very fun movie.
Stoic Clam, thank you for that 3-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
God of Chaos, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think Thrawn would have been a good main villain instead of what we got in the sequel trilogy?
It depends how they do them.
True.
Yeah, even in Rebels, I didn't get to it. He didn't become intimidating until like the last few episodes, in my opinion. Well, but then in Ahsoka, he was pretty good. It would be pretty cool. But I did really like Kylo Ren. I thought for the most part he was, again, not the best ending, but most of that I was pretty on board for.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Is Walter familiar with Studio Ghibli? And if so, what are his favorites or thoughts on certain movies? He's gotta be familiar with him. I don't know if we've ever, because I feel like anyone who likes cinema has at least seen Spirited Away. You know what I mean? We've never specifically had conversations about it, huh?
Yeah, whenever I see him next, I'll ask him.
Derek, thank you for the $5 super chat. What streaming services do you think are not going to survive this year?
This year? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll think of the ones I don't have Peacock. I don't have Paramount. I'm not sure there's all that.
I mean, now that Max is going to be HBO Max again, it's going to be saved. So Everyone knew
um,
that was the problem.
are they? I mean, they're still gonna have Discover like
Yes,
combined on there,
yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so weird. Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the Pitch Perfect movies? I've only seen the first one, and it was surprisingly awful and a generally unpleasant experience.
Oh, I was the opposite. I thought the first one was surprisingly funny. All the ads I saw, it looked like it'd be terrible, but I actually really got into it. If you don't like that one, don't see the. I saw the second. The second one's okay. But the third one I haven't seen. I heard is really, really bad. So, or maybe I have the opposite effect. I'll be able to get better as they go along.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. In All Dogs Go to Heaven 2, did you find it frustrating that they never once mentioned the events from the first movie?
You know, I never saw it. I saw bits and pieces, but I never saw the whole movie. I don't think I could bring myself to check it out.
Seattle Lad, thank you for the 500 bits. Did you hear we're getting a new Mummy movie from Lee Cronin? I'm looking forward to it, though I would have loved another Brendan Fraser Mummy movie.
Uh, you have three to choose from, and two of them are the exact same movie, so I think you're okay. Lee Cronin. Why do I know that name? Oh, the guy who did Evil Dead Rise and stuff. Okay. Sure, I'm down for it. See what he has in mind. I like the way he uses a lot of practical effects in his movies.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Which adult sci-fi deconstructionist show do you prefer and why? Rick and Morty or Venture Bros? Personally, I like Venture Bros a bit more, but they are both two of my favorite shows.
Venture Bros is completed, so it's a little easier to say that all works because you know where it's going and it all kind of comes together and stuff like that. Rick and Morty, boy, that's rough. For right now, I'll say Rick and Morty because I do like the speed of the writing and I think how much just the concepts of every episode so often think outside the box and it does have good rewatch value. And Venture Bros does to an extent too, but Venture Bros is a little bit more focused on. There's a great video somebody did on just how it's all focused on failure and just the idea of failure. Just watch the whole thing, and it's like, wow, this is just an homage to absolute failure, and the stages you go through within everything, and it is really fascinating when you think about that. So on that level, I like that a little bit more, but I have to see where Rick and Morty is going. So right now, Rick and Morty, but you know, it could change once it all wraps up.
Isaac, thank you for the $10 super chat. Could you do a Doug video about movies that deserve sequels? Also, what are your favorite movie sequels?
Man, I mean, everybody's favorite sequel: Terminator 2, Dark Knight, Aliens. You know, honestly, my list is pretty boring. And a video on movies that deserve sequels. I don't know. I'd have to think about it because we have so many sequels now. I feel like I'd probably be more like, hey, let's take back a few. Let's take back a lot, actually.
Lover of cinema, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on Jake Johnson? I'm a total fan of the guy, and he's very funny. I especially love him in stuff like New Girl as Nick Miller and Spider-Verse movies as Peter B. Parker.
Yeah, why do I know this guy? So this is a guy I have seen him in stuff, but it doesn't click that it's him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't have the stride. I loved him as
Peter B.
Parker,
Parker,
obviously, but I mean, what I've seen, I like. Maybe this is a good thing. He hasn't like jumped out at me as like somebody to remember, but that's probably good because that means he's serving the story. You know, and doing a good job as the character. You know, where they're not always supposed to stand out. You know, they're just supposed to be. They're supposed to be somebody that's interesting and moves the story forward. If not, they're gonna stand out and be somebody boring or bad or you know stand out because they're so awful. So no, he's not that. He's good. That's a long-winded way of saying he's good.
Shouting Joker, thank you for that 6-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Ending is not betrayal people think is. Nani is getting educated to be able to support Lila with a good job / career, and Portal Gun means visit her anytime.
Well, and what I mean, all right, since we're just going into the ending.
I was going to say, well, oops, I didn't pre-read that, and spoilers, I suppose.
I mean, it's like the one different thing in the movie. I should say there's a couple different things, but nothing major. Yeah, what I like is when she goes through with the portal gun, they're like, shh, quiet, quiet, don't let them know we're here. It's like, why? You're allowed to see her. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, and I think the idea that like Lilo's next door, I mean, yes, it's when you compare it to the first film where they say Ohami's family so many times, and in this one it's almost an afterthought. In fact, when they say the line, it's done during a comedic scene.
Hmm.
Um, I guess they're going for something a little different. I obviously like the original more, but when people say, "Oh, she just abandons the kid," it's like it's not quite that. There's a lot of other things going on. To me, it was more like a compromise. Work with what you have the cards you're given, and they work with it well. Like they still are a family, even though they're not always together, and they find workarounds and stuff like that. With that said, I like the way it's done the original obviously more, but I wasn't as diehard against that. But yeah, I was thinking to myself, boy, how can I think people aren't gonna have that reaction?
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. When I first saw NC, I was 13 and watched the Titanic videos the same day the Review Must Go On premiered. I've been a fan since. I'm 25 now. Time flies.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, no, thank you for watching for so long.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Stormfront in The Boys?
Stormfront's the
Exactly who you think she is.
Okay.
We've
I'm
had
gonna
this conversation
anything
before.
I say is gonna be a spoiler. She's really good.
She's great. I got told I looked like that actress for a long time after that first premiered too.
I do kind of remember that. Yeah. And I like they go back and forth with how early on, at least, how you're supposed to feel about her, and then just the more and more that's revealed, you're kind of like, oh shoot, I can't believe I was almost rooting. I was almost on this person's side. So yeah, no, I think she's done very, very well.
Movie Lover, thank you for the 500 bits. How would you rate the following Nickelodeon protagonists? Tommy Pickles from Rugrats, Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life, and Ickis from Ah Real Monsters.
Uh, Probably Rocco, then Ickis, then Tommy.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather, which Disney villains would you pair against the Z Fighters? Oh, goodness. I don't know. That feels, once again, like such an unfair matchup. I don't know. I'm not interested in playing the, like power matching game. Shouting Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. During his review for both Curse of the Black Pearl and Dead Man's Chest, Chris Stuckman stated that Disney would never make those kinds of movies today because of how risky the former is and how intense and violent the latter is. This is especially true at the beginning at World's End. Would you agree with him?
I mean, everything is pretty safe and sanitized. It's weird with that World's End. I did think it was to a point where I don't mind being really gratuitous about all that stuff, but just have it be smart and serve a purpose, or be funny. And I thought just out of nowhere, those movies were suddenly like, we're Pirates of the Caribbean, we're serious stuff. And I'm like, you're based on a ride. Like, be the fun, ridiculous thing you are, but you can be gruesome. You can be all creepy and everything. And that was very experimental. I think Pirates was the first PG-13 movie they ever did. It'll be curious to see if they ever get to an R. I don't know if they ever will. Like you can say Deadpool and Wolverine, but that's still technically Fox or 20th century. Yeah, but Disney proper. I would assume they wouldn't, but I could be wrong. Again, as long as it serves a purpose and it's smart about it, I don't mind it too much.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Disney villain do you like more? Zahn Tiri from Tangled or Andreas from Amphibia?
I got Zahn was the big baddie in Tangled, right? Let me see.
I don't know.
Tangled. Well, that came up with nothing. What's the name again? Zahn
Tiri, Zhan space Tiri.
That's got to be the big baddie, the billion. Yeah. I like the build-up in Tangled a little bit more, but when it actually got to the payoff, I thought it was a little quick. Where with Andreas, I forget his name. the payoff was pretty good and kind of unexpected. Like they kept making him more and more interesting as it went on. So yeah, I guess hopefully that answers that.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of E.T.? Did you get heartbroken when he started dying? I mean, E.T.'s old enough. Come on now. You've either
Yeah.
seen it or you haven't.
Yeah, it's a very good movie. I always say I did not get into it though. I haven't rewatched it that much, even though I acknowledge it's very, very good. And I think the reason is I saw too many of the parodies and spin-offs and Saturday morning cartoons doing a similar thing before I saw the movie. Like it's like seeing the Frankenstein monster everywhere before you see Frankenstein, kind of thing. But it's done with the story, it's done with the plot. So when I finally got around to it, I knew the beats it was gonna go, but I still appreciate how well it was done, especially when it gets to like those darker, heavier moments. Which again, it's like, whoa, that like this movie's going places that are very difficult for a kid to watch, and I appreciate that. But I was just too used to the story, and I hate to say, I think E.T.'s ugly. I don't like looking at him. I couldn't really find him. I get why other people find him adorable,
E.T.
but
stuffed animal when I was a kid. I took E.T. everywhere with me.
Most kids did. I just thought he looked like a penis. I don't know. He grossed me out. I didn't like looking at him.
Christian, thank you for the $5 super chat. For Heather and Doug, what childhood drink did you guys prefer? Capri Sun, Sunny D, Hawaiian Punch, etc. Hawaiian Punch. I was a fruit punch kind of gal.
What was maybe Kool-Aid? I guess I liked Kool-Aid quite a bit.
Tyler, thank you for the $5 super chat. In my opinion, the only other actor I could see as John McClane in Die Hard instead of Bruce Willis is Michael Keaton. Thoughts?
It's funny. I was gonna say, is he really an action star? I'm like, wait, he's Batman. But even that's such a different. Like, I don't see Batman as an action star. I see him as like just a different entity altogether.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting. I think you can make it work. I think Willis is better, but Keaton could do something with it. He could make it his own, and make it kind of cool.
New Blood, thank you for that Prime subscription over on Twitch. Welcome, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you ever seen Jack of All Trades? It starred Bruce Campbell as a man who disguises himself as a Zorro-like character to help protect America while teaming up with a beautiful English spy. It was a super fun show and is one of my favorite theme songs.
Boy, I totally forgot about it until you brought it up. And you're right, the theme song was really zany and goofy. Everything you just said is all I remember about it. I can't remember if it was good or bad. I don't remember it being bad. It was the same thing. He had another show called was it Briscoe County Jr., which was the same thing. It wasn't bad. It just never quite hooked me. It never quite grabbed me. But I do remember that theme song. That theme song I do remember being very funny and pretty silly.
Night King, thank you for the $5 super chat. I think maybe they didn't know that we just have a list because it's the same thing about Arnold Vosloo knew exactly what Cody Banks was and chewing up the scenery.
Oh, there you go.
Peter, thank you for the $5 super chat. Just saw your Cody Banks review. I love the chestnuts roasting joke. Gonna use that line whenever I can.
Oh, nice. Hopefully during that scene.
Eccentric Gentleman, thank you for the £2 super chat. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Are you excited for the Ninja Turtles 4K coming out?
Yeah, what? Just on I was gonna say Blu-ray, but I guess it's 4K. Maybe because it is such an independent movie, it's a very grainy looking movie. I feel like the more you clean it up, almost the more I don't want to see. I'm gonna see more of the rips and tears in the suit. But then again, that it kind of gives it more more dimension to it, doesn't it? I mean, you can see the effort that put into it. So that was put into it. So yeah, might check it out.
Tyler, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug would love to see a Darktoons review of the wormy episode of SpongeBob. The live-action horsefly close-up still creeps me out as an adult.
I don't think I've seen that one. But I'm also not doing Darktoons anymore, so probably not. I'll try to watch it in general, though.
Tyler, thank you for the $5 super chat. Also, when can we expect an NC review of Inspector Gadget 2?
I did Disney December. I think that's enough. I didn't hate it. I didn't have a passion to really do an NC on it either. So if you want to know my thoughts, just watch the Disney December on it.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Yeah, we'll say this about Sings. They should have set up booby traps like in Home Alone. Oh, I think
In
they meant
what?
signs. I think they meant
Oh,
signs.
size.
They said
That's funny.
sings, just so that you
I was
all know
gonna
that
say
one wasn't on
like
me. They put sings, but then I was
like
like,
the Thing movies. Like, okay, gotcha.
signs. Got it.
I mean, they didn't need to. They just have a door, and they're like, ah.
Eccentric gentleman, thank you for the £5 super chat. You love Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but sniff at the 2005 Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Tell us, have you ever read the book?
Like years after I saw the original movie. So I do know there's stuff that's in the remake that's more accurate to the book, certainly. Um, for me, I was actually liking the movie fine until they get to Willy Wonka. And I was just like, this isn't working at all for me. And there were things even before that, but for the most part, I thought it was a pretty decent update until they got to that part.
Yeah, listen, I've read the book, okay? Just because things are more book accurate, I feel like I have this conversation more with anime fans than anything. Just because something is more accurate to the manga or the book doesn't make it inherently better. That's all I'm gonna say.
I like if I'm right, you see all the kids make it out in the book, and I like not knowing if they make it out. If they give a little wiggle room, oh, maybe they will, but if I like it's a little darker that way.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What's your favorite scene in The Cat Returns?
Uh I think the bit, well, just that one, in the American dub, not Andy, yeah, Andy Richter voices him, which I'm like, that makes it like it's clearly a girl. I thought that was very weird, but in the ending when they're walking down the birds, I always thought that was really really cool.
Dev, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the movie Freeway 1996? And if so, what are your thoughts?
No, I'll try to check it out.
Night King, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you ever seen the film No Escape with Ray Liotta? It's the movie that got Martin Campbell Goldeneye. It's an excuse to have great action scenes, but Stuart Wilson is great as the villain.
No, and that's another one I forgot about. I wanted to see it, but I don't think I was old enough. It was like PG-13 or R. My mom's like, man, you can't see it. And I totally forgot about it. But yeah, it did look really cool. I want to check that out.
KJ, thank you for the $5 super chat. I don't know if you guys are fans of the Beach Boys or not, but I would highly recommend watching the 2015 Brian Wilson biopic, Love and Mercy.
All right, might check it out.
Tristan, thank you for the $5 super chat. I saw there is going to be upcoming Garbage Pail Kids 2 coming out. I triple dog dare you to review that. Just kidding.
I was going to say, you didn't read that. You didn't read that.
Celine, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug, I'm an old fan. It's cool to see you're still making videos. I remember waiting in line to meet you when I was back in high school and watching your vids with friends. God bless. Good to see you well.
Oh my God, thank you so much. It's so kind of you to say. Thanks for watching for so long. Yeah, no, I'm really not kidding. I'm so freaking blessed that I get to still do this all these years later. So I always want to make it very clear that really is because of y'all watching and everything. So thank you so very, very much again. We really do mean when we say we could not do this without you, and we are just super, super thankful.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Doug, I do love your door rant, though, for signs. I laugh so hard my chest hurts every time.
Yeah, it's funny because I thought the big joke was going to be me freaking out, yelling about doors or whatever, and I tried to edit that over and over, and I never quite got it right. And then just the scene after where I dub over what the aliens are saying, like that's the scene everybody remembers. So it is one of those things where it's like, okay, just try to do what works. The one you put the most effort into isn't always going to be the one that people love the most.
All right, and we caught up, so we still have a couple of minutes here for some highlighted questions and regular chat questions.
Let's do it.
July Media over on YouTube asks, Doug, what's the scariest company logo that you've ever come across? To me, the MGM logo still scares me to this very day.
I think it's one connected to MGM. It's a United Artists, the original one in the 80s. When I was a kid, it was just all black, and you just see like something emerging. It's just a piano. You hear like it's almost like an alien ship is gonna like come in and like slowly grab you or something. Then when it says UA, it's like boom! It just always freaked me out as a kid, but I always kind of like that too.
R Red over on Twitch asks, what's the music that plays in the background of the Monsters University Disney Summer review?
I don't know. We have a whole library of like music that we bought or is from YouTube. Yeah, I'd have to go look it up.
Batfan over on YouTube says NC for Blade Runner or 7 because of your controversial takes on them.
Did I have controversial take? I guess I thought Blade Runner was alright. I found that's not that controversial, actually. Um, and 7, I still liked it. I just don't remember loving it like everybody else did. But part of that could be people were talking about it so much, and I kind of knew what the ending was. Not exactly, but I had kind of a general idea because so many people were saying, "What's in the box?" So that probably played a part in it.
KJK, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, did you check out the Mr. Freeze DLC mission in Arkham Knight? Even if you don't play it, you should at least watch the cutscenes, some of the best Mr. Freeze content out there, in my opinion.
All right, I'll watch the cutscene. I'm curious about that.
Akram, thank you for the $10 super chat. I know you're not a big fan of Pixar's Cars, but do you respect the fact that it has a lot of fans and nostalgic value with the toys and merch?
Oh, if I was a kid, I would love the toys. I had a lot of Hot Wheels and Micro Machines and stuff growing up. So giving those things a face, I'd be all over that. Absolutely.
Nate, thank you for the $5 super chat. Could you potentially do a proper NC on Home on the Range, which has arguably the most annoying villain song in all of Disney history?
uh, Maybe. I mean, I didn't like it, but I don't know if I have a passion to really rip it apart. I don't know. Maybe one of these days I will.
Good old Granite, thank you for the £5 super chat. What are your thoughts on the Mitchells versus the Machines? I couldn't help but notice that you didn't do a Doug reviews on it back in 2021.
I liked it. It got better as it went along. I thought the comedy could be funnier. But it was all right. I thought when it got to that last third, it really kind of turned on. It got more interesting. But yeah, I don't think I got on board with it as much as everyone else did. But I liked it fine.
Peter, thank you for the $5 super chat. I know / respect your thoughts on ET, but have either of you two seen the Xfinity commercial follow-up called A Holiday Reunion? I love it.
Yeah, I remember that. I like that one.
Okay, cool. And that brings us to 8 o'clock here, everyone.
I'm ready.
Thank you so much, as usual, for being here and joining us tonight. We super appreciate it. We do normally have content here, on Twitch 5 days a week. Malcolm's going to be back on Twitch tomorrow, and then we forgot to mention this last week, but Doug will not be here on Friday. So don't tune in on Friday. You'll just have to go back and watch the VODs and cry a little bit. Doug won't be here, okay? That's what my Friday night's plans are. I'm gonna go cry. But no, I'm just kidding.
Just watching me. Oh, Douglas, so weird. A Friday night without you doing terrible at Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry I forgot to bring that up last time.
Yeah. So no Friday stream. I've been trying to say it every day this week, and I'll probably try to say it on Twitch tomorrow as well, but no Friday stream. We will be back here next Wednesday on Twitch and YouTube, but no Friday stream, okay? All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you all later.
Bye! Bye!